What's up, everybody? Jordan Angeli here for this week's edition of The Rundown. We're going to go back and talk about that game against RSL over the weekend and a bright spot in Brian Galvan getting his first start since ACL injury. Then we're going to look ahead to the game against FC Cincinnati, what they've done over the last year and a half under head coach Pat Noonan, and what the Colorado Rapids need to do to get 3 points here at home. It's all next here on The Rundown. All right, Drew, it was a tough one over the weekend, a rivalry match against RSL. The team came out a little bit slow, gave up 2 goals early in the match, but they came back, had some energy, especially in the second half. It looked like they were knocking on the door when it comes to an equalizer. When you look back at that game, what's the biggest takeaway you have from the Rapids?
I think what you mentioned, just giving up 2 early goals is a killer in any game, and certainly in a derby match against your rivals, it kills a lot of your momentum, you know. And they did a good job to get back in it, but nobody in that locker room was happy after the match. The nature of some of the goals that they conceded, just being so stretched defensively, just not good enough. And Robin talked about it after the game and to the press, you know, it just, you give up early goals, you give up goals in that way, and it's a mountain to climb. And unfortunately, the Rapids just couldn't get all the way back in it, but there were some signs of life in the second half. You do score 2 goals yourself, but just, pretty disappointing. Yeah,
and you mentioned that everybody was talking about how disappointing it was. It was Robin Fraser, Danny Wilson. I think a bright spot, Brian Galvan gets his first start since the ACL tear. He gets man of the match. Will Yarbrough spoke after the match about how he is such a different dimension to this team. And they're gonna need dimension going into the game this weekend against FC Cincinnati. Let me read you a couple of things. Since Pat Noonan took over, this Cincinnati team is 21, 10, and 16. 9-1-3 this year, first in the East. What has worked for them?
What hasn't worked for them might be a shorter answer. You know, they've got a legitimate superstar in Lucho Acosta, one of my favorite midfielders, attacking players to watch in the league. Very solid defensively. They play 3 center backs, right? Dominic Badji is rounding into form. You know,
the Rapids know a thing or two about.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Vasquez is a little bit of a slow start to the season, but is starting to round into form as well. And they just have a good, solid system. They feed off of each other well. They're scoring goals. They're playing, again, very good defensively. And like I said, they're playing with a lot of confidence. They play extremely well at home. I think they're 8-0-0 at home, but they have a winning record on the road as well, and so it'll be a big test.
It'll be a test for both teams. It'll be the Rapids' 7th game in 22 days, that game on Saturday. And minus the game against Philadelphia, this Rapids squad has really stepped up when they play against a team who is top of the table, some of the best teams in the league. What has to go right for them to get a result on Saturday?
I think they need to start the game well. You never know what Cincinnati's going to do. Again, teams come in here and they change tactics a lot sometimes. I don't think Cincinnati will do that. What they're doing right now has been working. But they need to be solid defensively, the Rapids, right? And not give up early goals, not get stretched defensively where they're running back towards their own goal. You need to keep the ball. You can't lose the ball in bad spots. Have a good structure behind the ball and take advantage of your opportunities. When you get in the final third, score goals, get the ball in the box, and put this last week behind you.
Yeah, Cincinnati has not won when they've conceded the first goal. When they've scored the first goal, they've won every single game. So yes, a good start is going to be important. We saw the Colorado Rapids playing a 4-3-3 against RSL last weekend, but they've played a 3-5-2 a lot. They've played in that 3-back. What do you think fits best against the Cincinnati squad?
I'm glad I'm not making that decision. Yeah. You know, again, they're very solid defensively. They play 3 center backs. They have, you know, 2 pivots in midfield, dragging them out of their positions, and their center backs are big, strong, athletic guys. Robin's going to have some decisions to make certainly through the week.
Well, that's what Drew had to say. This is what the team had to say ahead of that match against FC Cincinnati.
They're a very confident group with very talented players. Luciano Acosta is one of the best attacking players in the league. They have a very strong midfield and strong defenders, and I think all the success they've had has only made them better, given that their confidence has been growing since day 1 of this year.
You know, just treat it as we do every home game here. We believe that, you know, when we're at home we should be winning, and it'll be no different come the weekend. But you know, we've got to navigate the cup first, and then we'll get to Cincy later in the week. But well aware of the challenge they pose us. But you know, we have to be ready for them when they come around.
Should be a good one here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. 7:30 p.m. kickoff local time between Colorado Rapids and FC Cincinnati. You can check that all out on MLS Season Pass. For For Drew, I'm Jordan. That's it for us on The Rundown.